Hello, welcome to Sunday morning's edition of Wardy's Waffle and a Farm Update. We've got the Fastrack and spreader in the background. We're looking at that because we're putting in some SFI crops. Just before we get into though what we've got in this update, I just wanted to remind you that we still have some horse spares. Now, if you remember, we had a whole load of these when Simba and Horse had the tie-in, and we've still got a lot left over. I put this up a few weeks ago, and we have got rid of some of them, but these are what we've got as low. We've got about 50 of those, the tines, the points, and also the coulter tubes at the back and the leg. We've got about 35 points. We've got some of those. We've also got a lot of rams, a box of rams, varying sizes as well. We've also got some Terra Grip tops, the springs and the clamps that go around the frame for the horse Terra Grips, and we've got some of those as well. So quite a lot of horse spares we've got here at the farm, and I will let those all go at half price to what you'd buy them from a dealer for at the minute. So there's some good value on these products. The points aren't, they're not tungsten tipped, I'm afraid. They're not tungsten, haven't got any tiles on, but the price obviously reflect that. Anyway, this update, our new drill arrived this week, so we take a look at that. And we have also had a demonstration with a cultivator, so we take a detailed look at that as well, and that's gone very well on our hard ground. Also, we're looking around one or two of the crops, and the cover crops are put in as well. So that's it for the intro. Oh, by the way, sorry, I've just wanted to say I didn't get to Henry's this week, yesterday on Saturday. If you remember, I said I was going to have a visit with Henry, and we're going to have a look at the water situation, the rivers around there. I was all lined up to do it, and Henry had a breakdown with the machine on Friday morning, so he texted me and said he couldn't see me. So we will do that this next week, and it will be on in a week's time. So apologise for that, because I know quite a lot of you are asking how he's getting on, and looking forward to seeing that footage. And we need to keep holding the Environment Agency to account in their shortcomings. So I'm apologise that's not on. It will be in next Sunday's update, all being well. Also, I just wanted to touch on there's the big underspend that DEFRA came out with this week, or that surfaced, that there's been a £358 million underspend in the agricultural budget over the last 3 years. And that's just unbelievable when farming's in the tough times it is. And we've lost the basic payment scheme payments, and DEFRA said at the time that will be replaced with the SFI and a new scheme and ELMS and all these other schemes they've brought on, but they weren't brought out in time. And the money that was earmarked for agriculture just sat there and wasn't being used, and of course that's now gone back to the Treasury. So 358 million hasn't been used, and that's on top of the 100 million that the new government are saying they're going to remove from the agricultural budget that we're currently looking at. So yeah, it's just criminal really when you see the lack of support that the government's giving us. So we'll just keep our eye on that one, but obviously we've got the budget coming up at the end of October, and all signs are there's various things coming out in there, or rumours that they're going to be doing things that aren't going to be very favourable to British agriculture. Anyway, we'll touch on that when it happens. So that's enough for me for the intro. Thanks ever so much for watching, and let's crack on, and we'll see you at the end if you make it there. Just had a phone call to say something is on a lorry on its way, and the driver has just rung up from the gate to let him in. Back one is our new drill that we've finally bought. We bought it with the help of the Farming and Technology grant that has been available this last year, which I'll explain about when we get it unloaded. So that's it. So it's 6.4 metres wide, which is an odd measurement, but that fits in with 32 metre tram lines. So Tom's going to just lift the drill off with the 8RX, because Ruben's out with the Puma with the culti-press on. We've got the Fastrack on the pneumatic fertiliser spreader, but I don't think the Fastrack will lift this anyway, and the 8RX hasn't got anything on, so we're just going to do it with that. The drill is quite a heavy drill anyway, and we might drill sometimes with the RX. I know it's not a load for it, but we might sometimes put it on that. Not sure where that drill's going, whether that's been picked up off another farm or being delivered to another farm. looking forward to getting to use this, because I think if we'd had a tine drill like this last year, we'd have maybe got some more fields planted, because you can use this drill, you can use this when the soil's a lot wetter, whereas our free flow, our Simba drill, you can't. There we go. That's locked the lower arms on. I'm going to do the top link now. So when you hear tractors, people say 3-point linkage, that's what this is termed. You've got 3 points that every machine fastens onto a tractor. The 2 lower arms, and then the top link main, the 3rd one. This top link is hydraulic.
Get out your way.
Operated from the buttons, from us on the fender. You can just see down there. You can operate all the tractor hydraulics from the back. That's how he's lifting that up without being on the seat. That's it, you're alright. So the grant that we've just purchased the direct drill through is called the Farming Equipment Technology Fund, and it's something that the RPA have put out. That's a Rural Payments Agency, and they only put them out at certain times, and they have been running on and off for the last few years, and it's linked to environmental things, and some of them are to productivity as well. There are some livestock things you can get, but this comes under the direct drill, and this is the details of the scheme, and these are the regulations. So for us, we get a maximum of 27,900, because DEFRA say that a direct drill should cost you £55,800. And so for that, they'll give you a maximum of 27,900. Well, our direct drill that you've just seen cost us 59,400. So by the time you take 27,900 off it, that is what we're left to pay. So when you look at it, it's quite a good scheme really, if you qualify. But as I say, if you just read that through, there are some sort of criteria that we have to adhere to. So if the drill costs less than the £55,800 that DEFRA say that's what a direct drill costs, then you would get 50% of the cost, but as a maximum of £27,900 is available. But a lot of 6-metre direct drills cost way over that. You can get some trailed 6-metre direct drills that cost probably 140,000, 150,000. But it is a big help, and for us with this weaving, it really does work on sort of wetter soils and heavy soils, and when conditions aren't right, and that's why we've gone for the a mounted version. We've got another load of straw going today. This is, what are we now today? Thursday. Ryan's loading this. This is barley straw this time, and this is another load that's going across to Ireland. So we'll have a word with Ryan in a few minutes. And that's it, shove them on. Just laying that one over, because he wants 2 more on the back there to make a load. We'll go and have a look through there, because Barry is back with his 3CX, his own wheel digger. You can just see him through there, and he's levelling out some dike soil or dike muck that he dug out the bottom of the dike when he cleaned the dikes out last winter. So we're going to have a look at that in a second. So this soil has come out of the dike, or it's a beck actually, so it's a bit bigger than a dike. Last winter, you can see by the colour of some of this is grey, so that's a lot of clay in that. Dried out a lot, but there is still moisture deep down here. So we'll get this spread, and then we'll get this soloed and get this whole field worked. So it's come out this dike here. So it just shows though how much water this carries, because we haven't had hardly any rain lately, only 15 millimetres in the whole of August, and about 6 millimetres, 7 millimetres up to now in September, yet there's still water in this diet, so it shows it never really dries. So we'll come across probably with the cultipress and the tines just off the soil, off the stubble here, and we'll just scratch it about with the tines, and then the rings of the press will level this. We'll do this in 2 or 3 days when it's dried a bit. Pulling onto the weighbridge, all sheeted down. Now we'll find out why he's having to sheet a lorry load of straw, because you never see them sheeted travelling on the road. Got Ryan here, you can see we've got a sheet on it. Ryan, reason for sheeting it? What's the reason?
It's mainly just for the boat. They'll not let you on without sheeting.
Yeah.
They say it's a fire hazard.
So first of all, this is obviously going across on a boat, so it's going to Ireland, and they won't let you on without it sheeting. Simple as that.
Not let you on at all without it sheeted, no.
So that little bit in the corner there, we can see there, that doesn't matter that
They'll
bit.
not say nothing about that. No.
And so when you go, how many loads are going over then? Will there be other loads on the ferry?
Likely will lie. Most ferries are on there at the moment. There's usually a couple of lorries loaded with straw on, and then there'll be curtain-sider trailers loaded with straw too.
And where are you going from?
I'm going from Liverpool, Birkenhead tonight to Belfast.
To Belfast,
yeah.
Right. So, and what time ferry?
Ferry be 10:30 tonight.
Okay.
I'll be off the morning, probably about 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Right. And what time do you expect to be on the farm? Where's this going? What area?
This will be going to Dunamana probably.
Yeah.
Should be there probably about 8:30, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Right. And then, so this barley straw, you said it's quite decent barley straw.
It's
Do
very
they
nice,
want barley more than wheat?
Mainly barley over with us, yeah. There is a certain amount of wheat,
yeah.
but it's mostly barley at the moment anyway.
And is there always straw going from over here to Ireland every year?
Yeah, there would be. I've been taking straw from over here probably about 6 or 7 years now.
Right.
So, but I would say there's far more straw coming from England back to Ireland this year, just because the crops, there's a big shortage of straw in Ireland this year.
And there aren't enough crops then grown in Ireland to fulfil the requirements with livestock and things?
Nowhere near it. No.
And then somebody asked as well questions about the government that said that the Irish government have been paying for haulage or for the contribution. Is that right?
That's not true, no. Back maybe about, I can't remember what year it was, there was a fodder shortage. I think that year they did put on a grant.
Pay what contribution?
A contribution.
Not all of it.
Not all of it. No, just a contribution, mainly for the haulage to try and get more straw brought onto Ireland that year. Yeah. But no, that hasn't run in 7 or 8 years maybe.
Great. All right, Ryan. Well, safe journey across, and we'll see you again in a day or two.
Thanks very much, Alan.
Thank you. So there we go. Ryan's heading off now across to Liverpool to get on the ferry to go across to Ireland tonight. It's Friday morning. We've got a Vaderstad Top Down arrived for demo, because some of our fields are so hard that the Simba Solo's not doing much of a job at all. It's pulling some big holes in it. So we've got that right for demo, and Ruben's just going out with the cultipress to cultipress some more land to put SFI crops in. We'll have a look through the machine in a minute and get Tom to talk us through it, because it's got an electronic system to control a lot of the features. So it's got an iPad in the cab that controls many features on it. That shows how hard things are. It's fine now. Just see these lumps. Look how lovely big these lumps are. There's my foot. This field's coming spring crop, it's coming capulet beans, so it's fine coming up a bit rough like this. It'll stand the winter well, it'll be good. There's the configuration. It's got discs at the front, then some tines, and then some more tines. These are doing an amazing job actually, just filling in any ridges and rolling any lumps in. You can change those, I think, for subsoil legs, but the reason why Tom was spinning earlier as well was this. We've had a big frost this morning, Friday morning. Look at my boots wet. It's really slippery and greasy on top. Tom's just going to dig and have a look at what the tines have moved. You see how hard it is when you just put the spade in. Just pull that one out, Tom, please. Just see what. And you can just see the lumps. hardly any moisture in the ground whatsoever. So this is the machine. Really well made stuff, Vaderstad is, always. And Tom, we've got those discs at the front there. They obviously start the cultivation and chop it up for a kick-off. Yeah. And then the tines, what about the points? You've got different points on.
These are like a 50mm bottom.
Yeah.
It fans out to 80 and 80mm shin.
So if we did have 50 all the way, that might have been a bit easier pulling.
For the depth, yeah. I know when we said, when the Vaderstad came around, they did say, for the depth we wanted to go, you want to be probably 50-50.
Yeah.
Because this 50-80 is taking a bit of pulling.
Well, when you look through the machine, as we've just done, there's most of the grounds, you can see how it's covered. And where there's a bigger gap there, you've got a tine at the back. And then that wider one there is just to stop the throw, is it?
Yeah, throwing it out. Then you're back on drawing line.
And is that the line you say that you can put subsoiler points or
probably
legs in?
Get subsoiler points, which will be another 10 centimetres at the bottom.
Yeah.
10 centimetres underneath your point.
Oh, right, yeah.
Which will be, if you only put them on the back, if you have them all over, then you can overload the system on the
right, got you.
brake backs.
And those star cleaners, it's amazing what they do. Those star wheels, they're just levelling out the ridges, and that outside one, I suppose, just keeping the lumps in.
Yeah.
So it goes under the DD.
You can set all this from the cab, it's got the e-service on.
So you got the e-services, which is, and it's all, oh, there we go,
so yeah, you can set it by centimetre from the cab in an iPad.
Right. So we'll have a look at that in a second. And then at the back, that double, well, I say Simba's call it a DD, but this one's slightly different because it's notched there. And can the pressure on that, is that set from the cab?
Yeah, so you've got a pressure on the cab in percentage, so you can go 0% apparently is just the weight of the press.
Yeah.
And then 5, 10, 15 in 5% increments. At the minute it's set with 40% extra pressure.
Right.
Because of this.
The conditions.
Not very nice.
Yeah, yeah.
You can take anything out. You can have the discs out, you can have the tines out, you can have the leveling rods out.
All from the cab?
Things out from the cab. They're 90% out now because it was catching some big clods yesterday and then bulldozing.
So these are 90% out?
Yeah. If it's on some light land, you could probably have them in and leave a nice level finish.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've always got a leg on the outside. So like
yes.
And then you've still got a levelling wheel, a levelling disc, just on the outside of that.
There.
And then a press, so it'll always keep it in and then squash it down.
Yeah, you can see that. So we'll just have a look in the cab. So,
some way to see.
Yeah.
At the minute, it's up in the air, so it's minus. All minuses. This is set at 10 centimetres deep.
Yeah.
Time set at 15 centimetres deep. We're out 10 centimetres and it's 40% on the backer. It's all quite in line. If you press that, that'll take the disc out straight away.
Oh, that one, yeah.
So if you're blocking up on your disc, you can press that and it just lift the disc completely out.
Incredible.
I think it's the same for all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got to be going 2k for any of this to work.
Any of it to move.
It's to stop people from dropping in the yard, accidentally changing something.
Oh, I see, right. There's no wires to it. How does it read the machine?
It's on like a Wi-Fi system, so it's connected to the thing. You can have it hardwired, there's a wire on there.
Yeah.
If any of these are wrong, you can go into your settings, tool depth, and then put the actual depth they are, so that's like calibration. So the packer runs on the ground, so you can have you'll always turn with the packer.
Oh,
I'm guessing if you're double working, so you're working and already worked, you leave the press down a little bit now.
Yeah. Brilliant.
These are your presets, so if I press that, you can see it's changed to 8 and 15.
Oh, you got presets.
Minus 3 and 0.
Right, see for the sun, but we've got 4 presets.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go, yeah.
So that's 3 centimetres to 13 centimetres, they're out, 40% on. So if you was going into a heavier area,
Yeah.
You could actually set it so it's going deeper.
So that sort of sketch there mirrors the machine that is with a disc at
Yeah.
the front, 4 rows of tines, the star wheels and the press.
Yeah.
Great. Tom was saying he's got all the hydraulics from the machine going into the ground set really slow, because if it drops in quick it does take some pulling and help setting off. God, there's some depth there to it. It's doing a really good mixing job. I think Tom said as well he's got 700 kilograms set in the rams for the pressure because it's so hard on the legs. So that's those rams there, you can just see. Every leg has a ram on it to hold it in. And you can just see that little star wheel on the edge there, how it's just flicking some of the lumps in. The rattling you can hear are the scrapers. You can see those black scrapers in between the yellow rings. You just see them moving about, and they set them loose on purpose. It is leaving it lovely and level, I must admit. So I'm in the Fastrack with the Kuhn spreader on the back, putting the legume mix in, broadcasting it, we're not drilling it, so broadcasting it on top and then going to roll it in. Just wanted to show the GPS in here because this tractor's 12 or 13 years old, and that rattling is the aftermarket GPS that we fitted 10 years ago now, but it does work really well. So this is the field, and you can see we've cultivated it that way on, so we're driving across the line, so there's absolutely no way of seeing anything. And we've got this steering mounted motor. You can see, let me just stop it wobbling. You can see there that rubber wheel there is turning the steering wheel and gripping the steering wheel and steering the tractor. That is the screen, so that is the line, the red line is the one I'm on. We're doing 20 metres wide. I'll just turn around behind and you can see how straight it is. When you look there, it is arrow straight. There's the spreader working. Can't quite see it because the seat's really small. Coming to the end of the field, so there's the spreader controls. That switch there switches the whole spreader off. Just going to drop the speed down so it's easier turning if you're a bit slower. See, we're nearly at the end. That line is what we spread when we went down the outside. There we go, switch off now, and that's it, done enough. There you go, so that's the width we did. We're going to go around the outside of the field. Now I need to drive along, round here, and then there you see the red line come up. Need to turn in, so the red arrow is on the red line. Takes a bit of doing. This system you have to be right on the line before I've gone slightly overshot it, so I just need to go back. I'll put the spreader on now. There we are, yellow, steer that, and then there we go. You see it's altered the steering wheel. You can see it turning the steering wheel there. Really an old system, but it does work really well. You can see there I'm on the line, matching up with the width. Then that screen down there, you can see it's all, you can see RPM. That's the roller RPM of the spreader. So that's why it's, so the faster you go, the more, the higher that number will be. The 15 number will be, because it's putting on, it's spreading it matched to your forward speed. We've calibrated it, and that's the speed we're doing, 15.6 kilometres an hour. That rattling noise does irritate you a bit, but if you hold it like that, it stops it. But it does work really well on an older tractor. You can get steering wheel mounted ones without that, have a motor under the steering wheel and that controls it. I don't know what they would be, probably £3,000 for one of those, but this works well enough for what we do with this. Just a couple of points. Some of you new subscribers to the channel, new viewers who haven't seen this spreader before, wonder what those 4 switches are. They're what we call section controls. So even though the spreader is 20 metres wide, it's divided into 4 5-metre sections. So I can switch those off manually when we're in odd-shaped fields to avoid overlaps. And then you might also wonder that red line, which is, we call that the AB line, how that's put in. I put that in at the start of the field. So when I drive around the outsides, I go into the far corner there and press the point A, and then the field corner back there, press B, and then the system will bang a straight line in between the 2 points, and then the tractor will drive to that line. So this now highlights that exactly, odd-shaped fields. You can see there, going to a point, I'm heading into the side of the field, you can see there by that line. So the left-hand side of that boom is going to touch the edge of the field first, so I will need to switch off that section. So when that line overlaps, when those 2 overlap a little bit, I'll switch off that switch there, and then you'll see, there we go, that'll switch off that. And then the second one when I get to the middle there, because you can see the boom's over the edge. And then last one, and then there, and that's it. So you can see there how it overlaps, and that's where you use those section controls. It might be an old system and an old tractor, but that just shows the effectiveness of it. Let's open the door, how straight that is, simply by the wheel motor there on the steering wheel. So I'll need to travel up here a little way. You can see, the screen has got reflection on it now. See the blue line there, it's just turned red, so that's the line I want to be down. And then what I need to do is I need to switch that right hand section off, put the left hand one on, and then that master switch will switch the spreader on when I get in the right place, which is turning up there now. That shows it perfectly. Switched on all the switches now. So I'm doing this manually because of the spreader. I mean, this spreader, I'm not quite sure its age, but it'd be at least 20 years old, if not a lot older. And the controls here were state of the art at the time. But nowadays, of course, when you have a sprayer or a spreader, a new one, all this is done automatically with GPS without having to switch the switches. It's picked up by the satellites, and our sprayer's the same. And it's all done automatically, so you can just see it's a lot easier than manually doing it like this. But this works on an older machine. Some feed week going today. It's heading off today and going to be tipped tomorrow. A local guy, James Thompson, I've known him a long while. He's taking it, and it's going off to the mill in Selby tomorrow, Saturday morning. Ruben's now rolling the SFI crops in. Headlands here, see, haven't been done. He'll do those afterwards at the end. So the idea is we're broadcasting the seed on top, and then the rolls just shuffle the soil out a little bit and just move the soil about and cover up the seed, and then the first rain that comes will set it off. Quite a heavy field here, so Ruben's going a bit steadier just to give the rolls a chance to do something. So you can't really see any seed here, it's all just trying to find. Let's have a look where before the rolls have been to it, and you'll see. So looking, here we go. So that's the seed, another one there. The white ones you can see quite easily. Grass seed there. Some more grass seeds in there. So you can see the seed before they roll it, and then you can see now, after you've rolled it, you've a job to find any. The rolls do a really good job at just shuffling the soil around and just covering the seed up. It'll only be just under the surface. First rain and it'll be up. That's a great shot, that is. That's the Lincoln Cliff Edge in front of Ruben there, and it goes from Grantham all the way to Lincoln. That's Leadnam Church, our village church, and the big house there is where my landlord lives, who I rent the 400 acres from. on the heath. You can see there the cliff edge all the way right round. And then there, behind the Fastrack and the spreader, there is Brantbruton Church. One more thing I haven't mentioned is that yesterday, that was Saturday, Ruben sprayed off the Capulet beans with a chemical called Spotlight, and that was to kill or to control the greenness in the crop and just ripen it a bit better and kill some of the weeds off that are in the bottom. So this is just a drone shot of Ruben doing that. The brown all over the field that you can see are the black oats, the companion crop we put with them, and they were sprayed off a few weeks ago before the seed set, and they were put with them to bring the beans up and help them at combining, to help more volume go through the harvester. So we'll be combining these beans in about 2 weeks' time, and hopefully the weather holds for then. And the yield of them won't be brilliant this year because we have had some poor germination and we have lost some beans, but I'll explain that in another update. Anyway, that's it for this week's update. Oh yes, one more thing. Some of you will be asking about the SFI crops we've been putting in, what was in the mix. Well, this is the seed label here, and you can just see there are 10 different species of plants in that mix altogether, and it's all put together to do with for this legume mix that our contract farm's gone into. Anyway, that's it for this update, and we'll see you sometime midweek, and thanks for watching.